Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. I just got back from a little trek into the bush and just walking along looking for anything out of place, trying to see if there's any weird structures made out of branches and trees. In the world of Bigfoot, apparently something they do is build weird teepee-like structures out of trees. And if you've been around the channel for a while, you already know this. But if you're new, that is a thing that Bigfoot is known to do, is make weird teepee-like structures out of trees. But I never found anything like that. Literally nothing out of the ordinary. This place, so far, like only one strange thing has happened, and that was that weird light in the sky. But that was pretty bizarre. And I'm hoping still something like that happens again. I'm hoping that light comes back. But anyways, I wanted to talk today about this idea that the Smithsonian Museum has bodies of Bigfoot in their collections. This is something you'll hear online. Not just on like Google doing like searches and whatnot, but you'll see people in like Facebook groups bringing this up every now and then, that the Smithsonian Museum for the past, since it's been around, has had a collection of bodies that are of giant proportions, basically. There's lots of pictures you'll find online. A lot of them are fake, of like archaeological sites in North America where bodies of giants have been dug up, supposedly, and they've disappeared. Where are all these bodies? The bodies are said to be found in Native American burial mounds. And the question is, have they been found or not? Does the Smithsonian have these bodies? The Smithsonian does have bodies, like, of, early man in North America. But they claim that the accusations of them having giant bodies isn't true, which, there's giant people that exist nowadays that we know of. Like, there's really tall people. There's a lot of people out there who are over 7 feet tall, which is already, the height of a Sasquatch. There's a place in Nevada called the Lovelock Cave, and supposedly beings were found in there, like the remains of people were found in there that were like over 8 feet tall. And the thing about that, which is really interesting, is that there were artifacts that were found, including items of clothing, and one of those items of clothing, they were sandals that were found that were, I guess, 15 inches in length. And that's like Bigfoot proportions. Sorry, this is the time in the evening where the mosquitoes come out and get really bad. Also, in the Northwest Territories, there's legends of cannibalistic tribes that existed that were giants. There's a lot of mythology about that up north, about these cannibalistic tribes who would like raid other villages of like normal sized people and basically wipe them out. I don't know, I think there's a possibility that, you know how at one point in time human beings coexisted with other hominids like Neanderthal? I feel like that went into more recent years, probably. Like, descendants of all these other hominids probably existed in small, like, quantities. They probably coexisted together, like, not that long ago. Probably a lot, more recent than we think. Because usually you think, like, oh, it's probably 10,000 years ago. Humans existed alongside Neanderthal, but I bet you there were, like, little pockets of tribes and stuff that were of these other, early human races that probably existed together. On the subject of Bigfoot itself, does the Smithsonian have Bigfoot bodies? That is the question, and we probably won't ever find out. Do they have bodies of giant people? I would think probably they do, because there are tall people. There's a story. It's like it's a Bigfoot encounter story. It's like the Choctaw Bigfoot War of 1855 or something. I can't remember the year, but it's a story of this group of Native American Choctaw warriors who went to like investigate this place where supposedly these Bigfoot creatures brought all these people and like killed them and ate them and whatnot. And they had some sort of fight, like these indigenous people against the Bigfoot. But the indigenous people that were part of this group were like documented to be really tall, like over 7 feet tall. Like they were just a big group of people. So in that story, you have like a group of giant Native American warriors and a group of Bigfoot. Is it true? I don't know. Those old stories, you'll never find out if they're true or not. But there are so many legends of giant bones being found in these burial mounds. Are some of them Bigfoot? I don't know. It's said that like a lot of those stories of these giants are hoaxes. Like there's a lot of articles online showing how they're debunked and disproven. Like some people will say that the bones found in the burial mounds were that of other mammals that used to exist, other megafauna, such as like mastodons and whatnot. They'll find these big bones, and like early explorers and archaeologists, they didn't have the same knowledge that we have nowadays, so they would supposedly a lot of the time misidentify these bones. And also when they would find skeletons of certain megafauna, they would organize them and structure them in a way that wasn't anatomically correct and accurate to what the actual creature was. That's what they say. Like they say that happened a lot, and it led to people believing they were finding giant skeletons of humanoids of some kind. So I don't know. I mean, when you think of a museum, especially something like the Smithsonian Museum, you might as well just call it the government. And do you trust the government? Probably not. You know, they're probably holding stuff back in their collections. Obviously they are. I mean, I worked at a museum before. Back in 2013, I worked at the Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology. And in that museum, the stuff they have on display is just such a tiny fraction of what's in that building, in their collections. There's so many different things, fossils that were just like sitting in there. They are being studied and whatnot, but the stuff that you see when you go to a museum is a very small fraction of what's in there. So I always imagine like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Indiana Jones movie, when they put the Ark in that storage like warehouse, that government warehouse, with all these other like wooden crates of things that are artifacts of, you know, mystical treasures from all over the world that are being hidden from the public. I always imagine that. And that's probably a reality, you know. Do they have bodies of Bigfoot? Can't tell you. Do they have bodies of giant humans? Probably, because there is like that Lovelock Cave place. Finding artifacts like of sandals that were that big, like 15 inches, that's pretty crazy. And we know nowadays today there's people that are huge, like really tall people. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that back in the day there were groups of people that were like really tall for whatever reason. If Bigfoot is found and Bigfoot is proven to be real, that would mean we have everything wrong, like about our history and where we're from, if it is something that evolved naturally, you know? It's weird when you think of all this stuff, like the stories of these giants, when you think of Bigfoot and all these tribes and all these mysteries, it really feels like we have history like wrong, like something's not right with it. Not a lot of it makes sense, I don't think. I just have a feeling there's more to it than what we know. And maybe there's people out there who know. Like maybe the government knows what's going on. It just, how do we not know? That's the crazy thing. Like it's weird how there's so many holes in history. You know, that itself is a huge mystery that is just as intriguing as Bigfoot and aliens, and might involve Bigfoot and aliens. We don't know. But yeah, just an interesting thing to think about. You never know what's going on behind the scenes and what they actually know. There could be all kinds of crazy artifacts and examples of remains of strange beings in these places. I wish there was a way to find out, but who knows? Maybe one day soon, everything will be revealed to us, and we'll know the truth to these mysteries. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Mountain Beast Mysteries.